So then the seventh planet was Earth. The Earth is not just an ordinary planet. One can count there 111 kings, not forgetting, to be sure, the Negro kings among them, 7,000 geographers, 900,000 businessmen, 7,500,000 tipplers, 311,000 conceited men. That is to say, about 200 billion grown-ups. 2 billion grown-ups. To give you an idea of the size of Earth, I will tell you that before the invention of electricity, it was necessary to maintain, over the whole of 6 continents, a veritable army of 462,511 lamplighters for the street lamps. Seen from a slight distance, this would make a splendid spectacle. The movements of this many would regulate like those in the ballet of the opera. First come the turn of the lamplighters in New Zealand and Australia. Having set their lamps, they would go off to sleep. Next, the lamplighters of China and Siberia would enter for their steps into the dance, and they too would be waved back into the wings. After that, would come the turn of lamplighters in the Indies, then those of Africa and Europe, then those of South America, then those of North America. And never would they make a mistake in the order of their entry upon the stage. It would be magnificent. Only the man who was in charge of the single lamp at the North Pole and his colleague who was responsible for the single lamp at the South Pole, only those two could live free from toil and care. They would be busy twice a year. When one wishes to play the wit, he sometimes wanders a little from the truth. I have not been altogether honest in what I have told you about the lamplighters, and I realize that I run the risk of giving a false idea of our planet to those who do not know it. Many who occupy very small spaces upon the earth, if 2 billion inhabitants of people would surface, were all to stand upright and somewhat in a crowded assembly, as they could do for some big public assembly, they could easily be put into one public square 20 miles long and 20 miles wide. All humanity could be piled up on a small Pacific islet. The grown-ups, to be sure, will not believe you when they tell them that. They imagine that they fill a great deal of space. They fancy themselves as important as baobabs. You should advise them then to make their own calculations. They do adore figures and the places, and that will please them. But do not waste your time on this extra task. It is unnecessary. You have, I know, confidence in me. Whoa! Whoa! When the little prince arrived on Earth, he was very much surprised not to see any people. He was beginning to be afraid that he had gone to the wrong planet, when a coil of gold, the colour of the moonlight, flashed across the sand. "Good evening," said the little prince courteously. "Good evening," said the snake. "What planet is this which I have come down?" asked the little prince. "This is the earth, and this is Africa," the snake answered. "Ah, then there are no people on the earth?" "This is the desert. There are no people in the desert. The earth is large," said the snake. The little prince sat down on a stone and raised his eyes toward the sky. "I wonder," he said, "whether the stars were set alight in heaven so that one day each of us may find his own again. Look at my planet, it is right there above us. But how far away is it? How far away it is." "It is beautiful," the snake said. "What has brought you here?" "I have been having a little trouble with the flowers," said the little prince. "Ah," said the snake, and they were both quiet. "Where are the men?" the little prince asked at last. "It is lonely in the desert." "It is also lonely among men," the snake said. The little prince gazed at him for a long time. "You are a funny animal," he said at last. "You are no thicker than a finger." "But I am more powerful than the fingers of a king," said the snake. The little prince smiled. "You are not very powerful. You haven't any feet. You cannot even travel." "I can carry you farther than any ship could take you," he said. He twined himself around the little prince's ankle with a golden bracelet. "Whenever I touch, I send back to earth from whence you came." The snake spoke again. "But you are innocent and true, and you come from a star." The little prince made no reply. "You move me to pity. You are so weak on this earth made of granite," the snake said. "I can help you some day, if you grow homesick for your planet. I can—" "Oh, I understand you very well," said the little prince. But why do you always speak in riddles?" "I solve them," said the snake. They were both silent. And here is a picture of the little prince arriving. And here is the little prince meeting a snake. It's down there on the ground. And here is the little prince, well, here is the desert. The little prince crossed the desert and met his only one flower. It was a flower with 3 petals, a flower of no account at all. "Good morning," said the little prince. Good morning, said the flower. Where are the men? The little prince asked, politely. The flower had once seen a caravan passing. The men, she echoed. I think there are 6 or 7 men in existence. I saw them several years ago. But one never knows where to find them. The wind blows them all away. They have no roots, and that makes their life very difficult. Goodbye, said the little prince. Goodbye, said the flower. After that, the little prince climbed a high mountain, the only mountains he had ever known with the 3 volcanoes, which came up to his knees, and he used the extinct volcano as a footstool. For a mountain as high as this one, he said to himself, I shall be able to see the whole planet at one glance, and all the people. But he saw nothing save peaks of rock that were sharpened like needles. Good morning, he said courteously. Good morning, good morning, good morning, answered the echo. Who are you? Said the little prince. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Answered the echo. Be my friends, I am all alone, he said. I am all alone, all alone, all alone, answered the echo. What a queer planet, I thought. It is altogether dry and altogether pointed, and altogether harsh and forbidding. And the people have no imagination, they repeat whatever one says to them. On my planet, I had a flower, she always was the first to speak. And here is the pointieth. In the meantime, Christy, we'll continue this tomorrow. We got through 4 chapters tonight. Little did you know. But I can't wait to see you. I'll be home all so soon. I love you, Christy. Good night.